You're listening to Coffee, Chaos, and ProdSec. I'm Karen Walters, the AppSec guy who went from writing code to securing it and never lost the developer empathy or gained any patience for security theater. With me is Kurt Hendel, the security architect who has seen breaches from the inside, lived to tell the tale, and still shows up the next day with a threat model. We cover security. We cover what security actually looks like when the chaos is real. Let's get into it. Coffee, Chaos, and ProdSec starts now. Hey, Kurt.
What's up?
This is a rough intro, man.
The intros this time are hard. Keep switching them up.
Keep switching them up every time. Eventually, I'll get them down better. But that was take like 4, and I'm done. I just want to get it in there. I want to get in here.
That's what happens. You haven't been hanging out in meetings with me, so you forgot how to talk. It's okay.
I've literally had almost the whole week off. And I have just been a degenerate playing video games. I think Monday, the season. So I've been playing Diablo 4, the new expansion, and it came out at 6 p.m. I went to bed at 3:30, got up at 6, and gamed from 6 till 11 the next night. So in 24 hours, in 24 hours, I had like almost 30 something hours of gameplay, and then that's how it's been like every day. I've just been nonstop.
Only got paid for it.
True. Maybe that's the next thing.
More than a job.
I'll start streaming is my next gig, right? I'll just start streaming it.
I'm tired just thinking about it.
That's fair. Well, we're back with another episode. I know last week we talked about Mythos. This episode is also about Mythos adjacent. I wanted to continue down the thread. I've been talking with some people in our Discord and our Slack, and they were asking for more more actionable things, much more from the inside, the practitioner. What are people actually doing with this? And I kind of put together a cheat sheet. I might actually share the cheat sheet in Discord and Slack if people want it. Clean it up a little or actually maybe I'll just show it and give it so they can kind of see what kind of the process behind the scenes is like. So might put that in there, or probably will. Let's just say I will. But we're talking about it again today. You excited?
It depends. I've been in a lot of places mentally this week, courtesy of security and AI. So this will be refreshing because this is the fun part where I get to talk about security, and there's no meetings, no strings attached, no action items that I have to follow up on in 2 hours. So yeah, I am excited now.
You got some action items. I'll make sure that you walk out of this with some action items.
I always have action items. Cameron's the boss and I'm the employee sometimes.
That's fair.
But we're still friends, so we'll keep doing it and having fun.
True that.
You forgot is 5 stars, like, subscribe, all the smash the smash.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you've been smashing mobs all week. You can't forget to smash the button.
It's true. Yeah. So make sure you go give us those likes, the smashes. I have noticed that I think on YouTube our like ratio has been going up and people have been subscribing. On Slack or on Spotify, man, it's still 17 5 stars. I'm like, come on, somebody give me another 5-star. So someday
need one. Missing out right now.
It'll happen when it happens. So but yeah, we got that out of the way. There was something else we were debating before the podcast I wanted to say and I completely forgot. For the listeners, join us on, come on Slack or Discord and tell me, when you look at your calendar, do you start your calendar on Sunday? Or do you start it on Saturday or Monday? Kurt saw my calendar and was like, wait, your calendar starts on Monday. And I was like, yeah, because that makes sense. When you talk about a week, you talk about a week from Monday to Sunday. So why do the calendars default to Sunday? It drives me bananas every time I look at somebody's calendar, because then I'm like, but wait, I'm missing like a day. And when it switches over, I lose the week. It drives me crazy.
Well, I want to find someone who starts their calendar on Saturday, and I'll explain it to me, please. So I don't care what medium you use. Find us on Slack, Discord, LinkedIn, send a flare. I don't care. I need to know. Like, I'm dying to know why someone would do that.
Yeah, what is that with that option? Like, and then it's
I
weird
guess
because the
it's a weekend, so it's at one end of the week, right? It's at
yeah,
the beginning, which I don't want to lead with the fun part. I want to end on the fun part.
yeah.
So the
Well,
Monday to Sunday thing works for me. I
maybe it's
actually just
because
switched mine.
like they look at their calendar and they'll be like, okay, the week is gone, right? The calendar automatically switches by Saturday, so Saturday you can't even see the previous week. So you're like, it's dead to me. It's gone. I'll never think about it again.
Yeah, I'm also thinking like maybe because I'm opposite, I guess. I'm starting with the negative because work is negative and then weekend is fun time. Maybe someone likes to start with the fun and then they're like, "Oh man, here we go, work." So
Home to
starting on a positive note's a good way to do things too.
yeah. All
I
right,
might have
so
to try it.
I mean, try it. Let me know. I'm sticking to my Monday to Sunday thing because then I'm
I'm
like,
gonna
all
try
right,
the Monday
work's
thing
done.
now.
So
I
it's
was a
so much
classic
nicer.
calendar user until 20 minutes ago. I'm gonna try it and we'll see.
Yeah, it's nice. So yeah,
But
again,
anyway,
we're gonna talk about. I mean, I don't. I want to preference. This is something I want to start the episode out with again. I think the last episode we kind of went to this same point. Is that as an industry, we really, really need to stop talking about Mythos as like this pivotal thing. It is very important. It is very important. But there are so many precursors that have led to this point, right? There's been AI SaaS, there's AI DaaS, AI pen testing, there's AI XYZ tools. So much has happened before, but Claude's, Anthropic's marketing team, for whatever the
great.
reason, they're great. Like those guys are earning every bonus they get. I mean, they are earning it. It's top notch, top
I hope
notch.
one of them is listening because you guys are awesome.
Yeah, you guys are crushing the marketing
But
team.
GPT 5.5 is here, and guess what? It's comparable in
It's
what it can
comparable.
do, and
Exactly.
it's
I was
also
in,
public.
yeah, public. It's access. Everyone can have it. So like that's the other thing. Like I want a preference that when you think about Mythos, when you talk about Mythos, and I hope, like, my goal of this episode, and the reason I think I already stated it, but is that I want to walk away with much more actionable things for the practitioners,
Yeah.
for the people who are in the seat, just as like I am. When Mythos came out, I did things for my internal teams and my boss and my boss, and I want to talk through all those different things that you guys should be thinking about when you're going through this kind of what's happening right now and it's changing. But you should stop talking about it and framing it in Mythos because it is just one thing. There's ChatGPT. I guarantee Google has something comparable. Every frontier, every XYZ company, or every model is going to eventually reach this capacity and this ability. So you can't frame it in that way and lock yourself into that, especially if you're having these internal conversations. Break it out of that. Think wider, think bigger. I always tell my juniors, people on my team, like, always take 10 steps back, think about the big picture, think macro before you get to micro. And then if you're only talking about Mythos and only that, you're thinking micro and you got to take steps back.
Well, I think it's important too is that Mythos it was the first big one to blow stuff up again, right? Great marketing. We already went there. It prompted a lot of conversations. And so this isn't just purely about Mythos, it's about AI in general and the advances we've made in the last 2 years.
Yeah. Which
And so
we'll get to.
we're still figuring out where to go with all of this as an industry. There is no like I'm putting my architect hat on for a second. There's no recipe.
Yeah.
There's requirements galore. There's confusion. There's a million different things you can use. There's 1,000 different vendors I've talked to in the last month. So I don't even know what to do yet, but I have an idea of what I would recommend. And so we can start getting into these more actionable things and actually tackling some of these problems as an industry rather than just flailing.
Yeah. Agreed. But the most important part, Kurt, what are you drinking as you take a sip?
I was
Mid sip.
dedicated to the sip.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since I've had new beans. I haven't been home. I was traveling for work, then I was traveling for fun. I've been in California, Arizona, and now I'm back. I'm still drinking the same beans that I had like 2 weeks ago. It's the Feast Power and Glory. I think it's the one that it was like it's nutty, it's citrusy. I don't taste the citrus, but it tastes great. It's nice and smooth. But today I brewed it over ice in the big cup because you can never have too much coffee. So Yeah, we're back on this one, and it's likely next week. I think the beans are getting low, so I'm gonna have to change them out. Well, I'm gonna have to put new ones in. I'm not changing anything, so it's coming. Just wait.
It's good. It's good. It's good. I'm having a Boss. It's the Flash Brew, brewed hot, chilled fast, cold black coffee. Comes in a can. It's one of my favorite ones when I go to like any Japanese or Asian market, because it's one of the few coffees that come without pre any like the milk. Also, it's really smooth, so I usually drink it black, and it's one of my favorites because I can just have it straight up. But I did put a couple drops of vanilla from
Ooh,
was it Duncan who gave it that from Sweet?
friends at Dunkin' and a lot bit sweet. Yeah, I
Hmm.
haven't been using the vanilla drops, but I already
Oh,
cranked through
it's
those
good.
beans. They're long gone. I need some more.
Yeah, no, I haven't started their beans, but I started. So, yeah, super smooth. Love it. It's one of my favorites. I've been drinking so much coffee this week, dude. I brewed like before the season started or the expansion came out. I brewed like milk size bottles, 3 bottles,
Jeez. Just
so that
like
I had enough
attach an
coffee.
IV to your arm while
Yeah,
you're jamming
seriously,
on
it
these
was good.
skins, man.
Is how it was. So, but now we're
If
jamming
if
on.
you create that, send me one.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, like you kind of were leading into this point. You were saying that like there's these other precursors, and I wanted like before Mythos, like Expo topped the HackerOne leaderboards in 20 in June. Was
Long
it
time
2020?
ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. I've been watching Expo for
Been
a
a
long time.
year.
Yeah, I've been watching them for a while. Just do what they do, and a lot of people are talking about it. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of my vendor sales friends are all jumping to that company there because I think they just had a massive round of funding, so
Crushing
like
it.
everybody's going there. But I mean, amazing product. I've checked it out. I've seen it again. It's a one cursor of many, right? There's probably a billion other ones. DARPA, the DARPA AI XCCC event, which we brought up in our Cloud Code, which is
Yeah.
funny enough, that's our second most popular episode. So that was the metrics are fun and interesting now that we have a bunch of episodes. But like that run right there, huge event, right? For me as an AppSec professional, that was a pivotal moment because what it showed me is that people can build models and complex structures to or methodologies, I would say, or processes. I'm trying to be high level because it's like that's how we have to think to find vulnerabilities in code. And it was a real pivotal moment where they had to disclose it and everybody could get access, which means I like it was one of the first things when I did. I went and looked at every single one of the competitor or each one of the person who competed and looked at how they built it, why they built it, all XYZ. It was really cool to see. And then you see what they're doing today. Like the Trail Bits guy, he had a talk at Unprompted, and he had an amazing talk there. He's had, he's been saying that what's coming from the frontier models is leaps and bounds from what that was finding, and then beyond even that, there's just so much coming. So again, there's probably a billion other instances. There's been so many pivotal points to get to where we are today. You can't just only limit when you have this conversation internally around one word, which is mythos. Stop doing that. Currently, anything?
A magician. I mean, I don't even know how to follow that. I agree. How about
I
that?
agree. All right, fair enough. Um, there's other things, right? Like again, I'm trying to summarize what's everything that's happening. Project Lastwing. So only X amount of customer. We don't. I know it's more than 40 now because you can get opted
You
in.
can request access
There's
to
more
it.
access. So like there's companies getting in there. Very interesting from that perspective. Whereas now with Claude or with ChatGPT 5.5 or 5.5, the results are showing that it's comparable. The
Yeah.
same capacity, and that's public. So boom, now we've been sitting here and we've been saying that eventually someone would get Mythos level access. Everybody has Mythos level access right now. Literally
I
everybody.
mean, let's talk about like Mythos was technically compromised, and we kind of touched on this, right? Like whether it was just very crafty and planted, or someone actually got unauthorized access to it. It was a big deal, but we already forgot about it. And
Yep.
then GPT 5.5 entered the room, and we're like, oh, there's another one, great, and that one's public. So people are probably building all kinds of craziness on top of it.
Yep.
And I think it's also important. Like Glasswing it's a great project, I've had the privilege of meeting someone who's actually part of it. Now they can't tell you a whole lot because they're under NDAs and legal out the wazoo.
Yep.
But all of these major technology vendors are part of this project to fix their software, which essentially runs the world or is very widely used in the world. So they're trying to get ahead of what we're talking about. Essentially, is that this accessibility of AI that can find and exploit vulnerabilities, whether it's individual vulns or chains of them, to compromise systems very quickly. They're trying to fix that preemptively, and it's already happening. So we're just waiting for the news to break if anyone has been blasted by something.
Yeah, eventually it'll kind of happen. But like that's my point is that we're the day has come. Like Project Lastwing was trying to
Yeah,
hinder
it's
that
here.
day. It's here. It's literally here. So when you're framing your conversations, this whole part is just part of this podcast is really framing your conversations, building on a timeline of what happened. Make sure you do your research, add your own timeline. This is what I did to send to my CISO. But yeah, once you frame that they're like the whole point of the CSA or the Cloud Security Alliance report was like, hey, this day is coming. In there kept saying that today is that day. Maybe it's been that day.
Yeah.
Maybe his day came weeks ago. We just don't know. But it's here. Like now in a public way, it is here. Another thing you should put when you're talking internally is the time to exploit. Again, I would look something better. The metric I have is in 2018. It was like 2 years or something to I don't know. It was a long time, months and months and months to discover if you were hacked. Now the time to exploit is 24 hours or less. It's probably
Less than
less.
that.
It's
I
probably like
think I
hours.
think it's like 20 hours is the
I think
figure
it's
in
even
that briefing, but it's probably even lower
it's
now.
probably even lower now. Yeah, it's probably even lower. So when you're phrasing this conversation, you should make sure that your companies, your internal teams all understand that no longer can we lean on those metrics. Additionally, you need to stop and rethink CSA, KEV. You need to rethink Vuln check KEV. You need to think EPSS. You need to check all severity, priority. All that is kind of blown up and out the window. Rethink how you're going to do that. How I'm personally rethinking and reprioritizing all my things. I'm going impact based. I'm really thinking about impact. All right. If XYZ resource gets breached, what is the impact? And that derives severity, which means I have to have really good threat models. So if you don't have threat models, make sure you guys build out something, get those going. Right, I know, right? But it is an amazing
Wait, you
resource.
got to understand your blast radius? I never would have guessed.
I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, you got to.
I do this all. It was right there in the intro. I brought the threat model regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
But it's extremely important. I think as you talk, the one thing I do want to harp on is don't try to use fear, uncertainty, and doubt, FUD, as we like to call it in the
Yep.
industry. It's not an effective way of communicating with executives, leaders, anybody. It's like if you scare the pants off them, they're just going to panic. And it doesn't help anyone solve any problems. So focus on real, actionable intel and things you can do to fix things.
Exactly. So, and that's the point. Like when you're framing these conversations, yes, it can sound like, oh, hey, like this window's smaller and this is small, but be fact oriented. When you're speaking about, when you're talking about these things, don't bring FUD into it. It's just a fact, right? We operate in facts. This has been a fact. We've always worried about these facts. We've known about the time to exploit has been collapsing and getting smaller and smaller. Just have a chart that shows that, hey, this is how it is. But lead, again, we'll get to that part, but come into that as a leader. This is one thing we always do and we do well, is you come with remediation points or talking points to say, hey, this is how we're going to protect ourselves, right? And so that leads into that, right? Patch cycles, incident response plans. Most companies, and I'm going to throw this out there, is that most companies are not really good at AppSec, DevSec, Ops incident response plans. Most SOC teams don't have experience in that. I mean, I've talked to a lot of SOC engineers and SOC analysts. They personally, they're like, AppSec is too much. They're like, it's too much. I don't understand it. I can't understand the engineering side. It's too big. It's too XYZ. The blast radius, they don't understand. So it's up to us as ProdSec leaders, engineers, analysts, whatever your position title is called. Operators. Yeah, I like operators. I like operators a lot. AppSec or ProdSec operators.
So we're augmenting SecOps, so we're operators too.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to build your own. I'm doing this internally with my team. We're building out an AppSec/ProdSec incident response plan. We have multiple booklets for different types of the attacks that might be coming, who to contact, all these different things. Build those out for yourself internally. It's really going to help accelerate for whatever comes, and then tabletop those. Make sure you tabletop those so that your teams are well versed on who to contact, what to do, and walk them through that multiple times. So when the thing happens, because eventually it's gonna,
You're ready.
you're ready.
And people who laugh at tabletops, like, yeah, they can be cheesy and weird, but the whole point is to build muscle memory so that your natural reaction is the right answer.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and to remove, I would say, the panic and the fear or the nerves. You're still gonna have nerves. You're gonna be worried, but now you're gonna know what to do. You're literally gonna know what to do, right? You're gonna go to this, right?
Yeah,
So
the adrenaline can get in the way of your brain. So if you practice, that's the point, is you can work through it and still have the right answer.
yeah. So I mean, to wrap up this kind of this section, Kurt, do you have anything you would bring like around the context and framing when you're talking with a CISO or somebody, or around the conversation? Like, what other data points do you think you could bring in?
I mean, it's not even so much about the data. I mean, there's so much of it, right? We've already harped on, like, bring the facts, stick to the facts. Don't make stuff up. Don't try to scare me into doing something. But for me, whether it's an executive team, C level, all the way down through engineers, one of the biggest things for me entering a conversation is, yes, we have a problem. That's why we're here talking about it. Here's the problem. Frame it so that everyone understands it, and then say what you're going to do about it. Because one of the biggest things I hate in leadership is someone brings me a problem without a solution.
Yep.
Like, what are we going to do about it? Did you want me to solve that for you? Because I can, I will. I'm here to help. I support my team and every other team that needs the help. But at least give us a starting point. Don't just leave it open ended.
Yep. Which kind of leads me into what I was talking about earlier, is that like we can jump into this one right now before we jump into this section, but I guess it's great. One of the things that I put together was like 10 questions every security leader should be answering or asking right now. It's kind of built off what the Cloud Security Alliance report brought in, definitely with that one. But the point is you have to tailor that to your company. So one of the first things I thought about when with Mythos and kind of everything was happening, I sat and thought down and thought through my thoughts. And then I put them on paper. And then I thought about my company. What are the top 10 risks that are related, right? Everyone loves the top 10. CISOs love top 10s, boards love top 10. Everybody loves the top 10 because it's nice. It's a nice round number. Everyone, we do a lot of things. Top 3s and top 10s are like the money. I think. Do you think top 7s are also?
7? I was gonna say
You're gonna say
7.
top
Man.
7.
Come
I
on,
knew
lucky,
it. I knew
lucky
it. I
number
could see
7.
it.
Where's the
it.
7 in this conversation? You knew
That's
I
fair.
was gonna bring 7, and I don't even like the number 7. But whatever.
3, 7, 10, whatever one that makes the
How
most
about
sense for
13?
you.
Come on, man.
No, 13. No, too much. Too many there.
13. Bad juju.
Too much clutter. Too much clutter there. Build out your company's top XYZ number, because you're going to need that. The reason you're going to need that is because that's what people are going to ask. That's what they're going to gravitate and resonate with. And maybe you don't use all top 10, but that's what you should be doing. Everybody internally should be building their Mythos top level AI print a vulnerability exploiter machine top 10 that directly relates to your company, because every company is slightly unique, right? Maybe you're good at patching for open source libraries, but you're terrible at patching your operating systems. Maybe your WAFs are really good because you pay for really expensive ones, but you haven't locked down network traffic, or was it, what do they call it, northwest? I always heard north south,
South and east west.
Yeah, maybe
it goes in every direction today,
every direction.
man. Come on.
Yeah, that's fair. There really is kind of that whole terminology is kind of gone, right? But
yeah, the network perimeters are gone. Forget about it.
Yeah. Are we operating in a flat world now, or is it just that everything should be zero trust?
Well, it depends on who you ask. If someone says, "Well, we use a flat network," I'm going to be like, "Whoa, that's interesting." Yeah, I'd say gravitate towards zero trust to say the buzzword that it is, but it's really continuous authorization. Even authentication's one piece, authorization you should continuously be testing access, even with AI. Like this is what the industry is trying to figure out. Who's going to be the first one to say I have zero trust access for AI agents? I
No.
know there's companies working on it. I haven't seen all of their solutions yet, so if someone has it, great, let's see it.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
anyway, the top 10, I mean, there's that the CSA brief, or I don't even remember the title. It was something about it had Mythos in it because
Yeah.
this was interesting. The AI vulnerability storm. That's the brief, and it's got 10 questions you can ask about your
Yeah.
security program, state, and influence. That's a really good jumping off point. But like Cameron, you were saying, contextualize it. Is you should tailor everything to your specific organization. Figure out what are you good at, what are you not good at, where can you do better, and then extrapolate your top risks, and then get after them.
Yeah, that was the thing I was going to follow up on. So list your top 10. And one of the best things you can do when you build up this brief, right? Like I really highly recommend, a lot of us suck from the at ProdSec side on making like good graphics, good PowerPoints, good representation. We're technical folks in
Hey
ProdSec.
now,
That's what we do. We're technical. You're technical. Don't even.
I'm
Don't even.
technical, but I make some very pretty PowerPoint slides.
Sure, sure, sure. Debatable there.
We'll fight about it later.
Yeah, we'll fight about it later. A lot of folks don't make a brief that is executive level. One thing that's amazing is that we all have AI. So take these briefs, build them out, build out your top 10, put it into an AI, and next to it and say, hey, for every risk, here's the associated remediation that we recommend. So sit down and spend it. And some points can be, you can have one risk with multiple remediation points, right? And then tell it to build a nice PDF or HTML page and then do a print to PDF from there. But it can build a very nice, executive friendly, digestible in a format that is very easy on the eyes and get your point across report. And so on there, and it's tailored to your company, right? You're tailoring what are the risks, what are the remediations for our company, and that resonates. That really will resonate.
And if your company loves Excel, then fine, you can do this too.
Yeah.
So
Facts.
many risk registers still live in Excel, man. It's bananas.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the bananas part. So that's one of the big things. Look at the top questions. I think the top questions are like, what is your AI stance? Can our employees, use AI? How do we contribute? Can we contribute to open source? I know there's a whole bunch of different stuff. Look through those questions. I'm also going to post my questions in the Slack or Discord channels.
My favorite question in the list, you could probably guess which one it is, but I'm gonna say it before you do, is security operational or primarily advisory?
Yeah.
I hate that question
Why?
for obvious reasons.
Why? Tell the folks.
Because if it's advisory, that's just suggesting that you're giving advice that, well, what do you do with advice? You either follow it or you don't.
Yeah.
If your security is operational, you can actually be in control and make an impact. And we were just talking about prioritizing things based on impact. So if you can't make an impact, what are you doing? You're just talking all day. And it gets very frustrating for security professionals. I see it every day at every company I've ever been at. I myself have to act in a lot of advisory capacity, just being an architect and being spanning every capability. But so it's less frustrating for me because I'm used to it. But the second I run into that barrier of I know what we need to do, let's do it, and I have to spend an hour getting someone on the phone because they're asleep halfway across the world, like that's where it gets frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Makes sense. Makes sense. But I'll post these questions in there, dive into them. In this section, is there anything else you wanted to bring up technically wise? I don't.
Technically, I mean, we could talk about all kinds of technology.
There's so much in here. That's the other thing. There's so much I wanted to talk about. I mean, governance around your agents, blast radius, things are like that you should be concerned about and talking about. Because as these agents get more and more complex, you have to start thinking about data set poisoning and hijacking and them doing different things. So
You're talking about threat modeling. Imagine that.
yeah, it's true.
Yes. Threat model your agents. What can they touch? What can they access? If something goes wrong, what happens? So map out that blast radius. Don't just speculate on it. And when something goes wrong, try to figure it out. Like that's a recipe for disaster in security. But that's often how many teams operate is they wait for the bad thing to happen and then they change based on that rather than proactively try to manage it. And the other thing I will say, because you said the dirty word, you said governance. What happens if you have governance without enforcement?
Yep.
That's a question to you, Cameron. It's quiz time.
If you have, it's great.
No,
that's like the ideal scenario. No,
governance
wait, no.
without enforcement is known
Wrong.
as security theater.
No.
We are not a performing
security
art.
theater. What?
We are not in the arts. There's a reason that we sit at the keyboard and pound away all day. Well, there might be talented people that in security.
Have you
and
seen
arts,
my typing?
but
It is a majestic show of typing.
see it in 2 weeks.
True that.
I'll see you in Austin. Anyway, I've said my piece. Let's move on because I know the next topic we had on the list is one that's very special to you.
Yeah. And this isn't because I brought this one in there. It's very definitely, this is like defending your pipeline is what it's titled as. But this is another thing that I'm building out, and my CISO is very concerned, and I think a lot of them are. You bring up like SolarWinds kind of level events where they're compromised.
Supply chain attacks.
Supply chain
Still
attacks.
happening this week, by the way.
Yeah, they're solved, right? They're solved.
No, Shai came back.
It came back this week. I know. I was like, I'm literally off this whole week, and I was posting about it. So great. But yes, that's like pipeline attacks with what's coming with the AI. What do we call it? The AI exploit and CVE printer or something, Vuln printer. Because we were so tired. AI magician.
It was the magician last week, or it's the vulnerability printer, whatever it is. It's got a million names.
I don't want to keep saying the bad word. You really got to. Yeah, magic, right? It's true. You've really got to start talking about your pipelines. A lot of companies are like, "Hey, we're CI/CD," and I'm like, "Are you? Are you?
Are you
really? You might be CI, maybe mostly CI. The CD is debatable. I feel like that is debatable most times.
That's a maturity step that I haven't seen a lot of people take.
I haven't either. And with the maturity comes the competence. Yeah, continuous delivery.
Getting that code shipped continuously, that's hard.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of confidence in your QA, which depending on the company is debatable. But yeah, you've really got to start thinking about all the vulns that are going to be coming. And this is something I've been talking. I built out a separate brief that I will be giving to my engineering teams on what is coming, because my engineering teams, even though we have security contacts within their teams that focus on the security related tasks, they are very technical engineered folks and don't have as much time. So I'm building a similar level of brief that is geared towards them on, hey, here is what I believe are the top 10 risks to us as a company. And here are the top remediations. Here's what's coming. And this is how it relates, and working the phrasing around that. You have to talk about your pipeline, because what's going to happen? Kurt, do you know what's going to happen with supply chain? What's going to happen?
It's already happening, man. It's blowing up.
Lots of vulns, lots of breaches.
All you need is these people that are like, we're on the bleeding edge. We adopt the latest version as soon as it comes out. And guess what happens? Your credentials are gone and people are in your systems. And sometimes there's dwell time and you don't really know what's going on. And they could trigger an AI exploit and suddenly things are happening at light speed.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to protect that pipeline. Do it responsibly.
And you need to start thinking about your dev systems too. Like that was one thing. Throw back to Evan.
They are credential gold mines.
Credential gold mines. And that's what these attackers are going to start going after. The dev system was a lot harder to access. It is much, much more accessible today. It should be a risk that you are talking about internally, that no
You don't even
longer,
have to fish. A lot
no.
of fishing used to be the way, and now it's like, well, I'm just going to compromise the library, and suddenly I got millions.
Yeah, and boom, scrape those credentials, pump them out, and then they're exploiting for days. So
Yep.
you need to bring that conversation back to your teams, and especially with your IT and developer teams, engineering teams, and say, hey, like, these are the risks. Build out another report, top 10 or whatever, top 7 or top 3. But the point is to take these, to call out these risks that are all coming and build plans and actually do a lot of what we were supposed to do, what we're supposed to be doing
Well,
for a long time.
as you say this, I'm sitting here thinking like it's funny how we've neglected dev systems for so long. We protect prod and we're like, dev, yeah, fine, we'll watch it, but nothing's gonna happen there. Surely
Well,
they're
because,
safe.
dev
But
and
like
prod is separate.
what's one of the biggest things we scan for in this industry in the production environment? Static credentials sitting on a system. If you find it, you remove them, right? So why are we doing it on dev systems? Why are we letting those sit on laptops?
Yeah,
Because this is the root of most of the compromises that are happening lately.
it's true. I mean, I think it's just because it's hard. It's
Well,
hard.
it can
It's a big
be expensive
conversation.
because you have to use secrets managers and all this stuff, and you're paying for every stinking one of them. So it's like if you had to implement the same thing you do in production, but you had to do it for every dev system, developer, machine identity, and then your whole dev cloud, like your dev footprint is usually much larger than prod. Uh,
Yeah.
Depending on the type of software you build in your deployment model. Um, but a lot of people say, I'm going to ignore dev because that's too expensive.
Yep.
Budgets are real, they're hard to work with. So
Yep.
you have to prioritize. But I think now we're at a point where you almost have to say that's not a valid argument anymore because attackers have found their way to beyond product. They've found their way to production through development.
Mhm. Well, and at times they're not even going for production, right? It's
They're
more
just going for whatever
advantageous.
they can get.
Well, it's sometimes more advantageous to go after the company rather than the company's data or its production. Go after the
Yeah.
corporate side, because you could possibly exploit and gain a lot of internal information and sell that back, or sell it somewhere else, or do XYZ. So, um, yeah, I would. We've really got to start hardening all our surfaces, including the dev systems. It's a hard conversation, but you got to have it. You got to work through it, and we got to get it done. Whereas before, we haven't had this. We haven't really focused on that. But I think with everything that's kind of going on with the AI printing machine, bold printing machines, um, it just makes sense, right? Literally, just makes sense.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of it. Like on that section was just harden your systems, focus on your pipelines. Oh, the last thing was build a robust process for a critical patch. A lot of companies, some companies, at least some people I've talked to, they're good at patch management and that they're decoupled from features. If you are in a scenario where your vulnerability fixing, upgrades are all coupled with features, you need to think about how you can separate those apart so that you can properly upgrade without having to wait for XYZ feature. You need to be able to adapt and move fast when a wave of critical severity vulnerabilities on the assets you've just reviewed and said these are impact prioritization rather than just risk prioritization.
That's called minimizing your exposure window.
Yeah, it's a big word or set of words.
It's extremely difficult to do, but we are given the speed of AI and what it's capable of. It's necessary.
Yeah, agreed. um the adjacent to what you were kind of saying there that popped into my head is what you should be this is an opportunity and a moment that you can kind of escalate and ask for more. That's kind of my big phrasing that I'm trying to work with my CISO on, in general in life, is that you should be using these opportunities to capitalize.
Yeah, don't wait
um
for a breach because that's where money flows endlessly. But
yep.
our job is to prevent that.
Yeah. And I think we talked
Oh,
about it in the last episode. This is CISO level conversations. Like CISOs are talking about what is happening because everybody's talking about it. Everybody's worried about the accelerated level of risk. So this is a perfect moment for you to build out these reports, talk to your nation. And if you're gated by tooling, vendors, head count, right? You need to increase your head count. This is your opportunity to literally say, hey, like, we are not in a good spot for these reasons. This is what I need. And this is what's happening in the industry.
Oh, it's you're building a business case. It's a very good skill to have to be able to translate all of this technical stuff into the business side of it to say this is what we need and why. And if I have to spend $100,000 to avoid, what's the average cost of a breach today? I don't even know because it
Like
keeps
8 mil or
changing.
something.
If
I
it's
was like
$8
8
million
mil.
dollars and I have to spend 100,000 to mitigate that or prevent it, like great, let's do it.
Yep.
It's easy to say as the guy that has $0 and wants more money, but this we have to be able to tell that story to leaders who are both inside and outside of security to build the case to say, hey, we got to spend a little bit more to keep our company and our customers safe.
Yep. Agreed. Agreed. Pivoting into the next section, which is an interesting one, and I've been debating this one for a while, and I'd love to talk to you about this one a little. But before we get to that, you said you wanted to talk about something when we were doing the pre. What was it?
Oh, yeah. So we're starting to see now, like AI is all the rage, right? AI
Yeah.
has replaced people and then it's been replaced by people and no one knows which way to go. But now we're starting to see people have this conversation that the cost of AI compute is exceeding the cost of human workers.
Hmm.
What's that about? And frankly, why are we having the conversation now? Like we kind of all could see this coming, and I guess this is where we've always said like use AI intelligently, right? Like apply it so that you actually gain efficiencies and unlock time for your humans to go do things more effectively or focus on bigger and better work that they have to do. So I'm like, well, instead of saying I'm going to lay off 4,000 people and replace it with AI, you should have gone the other way to say, how can I use AI to make those 4,000 people more effective? Or
Yeah.
did you just make bad hiring decisions because COVID? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm debatable on that one, but I agree. And that leads into the next point, which is what I wanted to talk about was as we think about tokenomics and having good hygiene around usability of AI, there's this concept evolving, at least in the ProdSec space. I've posted a couple times about it, VulnOps.
Yep.
And you look at the Cloud Security Alliance report and it says go start using the frontier models,
Yeah.
the versions they have right now, and start throwing it against your code. It costs next to nothing. But as we're saying here, it's going up. Like in the latest models, I know a lot of it was 5.5 of ChatGPT or and Claude's 7 or 4.7.
Opus
Open
4.7.
everyone does, they're all consuming like the token to do a task is like double. It is insane. It's like
Mm.
double the amount. It is like they drop something and boom, you spend 1 billion tokens. So we have to start thinking in the as we move towards a VulnOps, right? Vulnerability operations. We're moving away from vulnerability management because it's no longer about managing the vulns. It's about reacting. It's much more broader and proactive. Whereas I feel like patch
Actually
management is not.
addressing and well, it's I commented on your LinkedIn post today.
Yeah.
Like we only see a handful of new vendors in the space that are trying to use AI to help you automate and manage your vulnerabilities. And so like this is where VulnOps comes into play. Whereas if you just stay on classic vuln management, you're going to have these feature cycles, you're going to have massive exposure windows, you're going to get popped
Yeah.
because the people that are using AI to find exploits and frankly use them, they're going to operate too fast and you're never going to catch them.
Agreed. And that's the point is that I don't know if the recommendation I would say measure your frontier costs, right? The frontier model costs
Yeah.
and VulnOps, like one of the core things, at least in the Cloud Security Alliance, was again throw your code, like have these things and say find me vulnerabilities, start building your own complex agent processes and things like that around the frontier models. I would say okay, try that out, see how the cost is, see how that measures against your code base. I think every code base is unique. Always go for your critical assets first and then kind of extrapolate out there. Do small tests, watch the token usages, make sure you have limits so you don't just suddenly blow up and have a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 budget, that every engineer is bringing.
Surprise, you're broke.
I know our engineering partners have unlimited tokens, but I know in InfoSec we do
Must
not.
be nice.
Right?
They told me I only get 5, so I'm done.
Right. And if they were like, hey, Cam, like, we don't mind that you use unlimited tokens. We want to see how your token usage is, dude. They would regret that decision so hard. I would just blow up these systems.
I thought your bonus was tied to using more.
Yeah, that's the engineering partners. I think InfoSec is tied to how little you use, but you have to use them very effectively.
Get more done with less, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
That still applies to security.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's a common, like, I would say, like, pillar in InfoSec is that you got to do more with less. Yeah, get that tattooed on us.
It's the name of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. You're blowing my mind.
EMWL. That'll make for a weird tattoo.
Yeah, it would. But VulnOps, again, is vulnerability operations. And when you're building out your systems and automating this, start using, if it becomes expensive, look at local models. Spinning up your own infrastructure and limiting it by the infrastructure, if it takes more time, sometimes that is okay. It's okay if you're limited by compute and it just takes a little longer to do what you need to do, because some of your tasks you could do while you're sleeping and maybe they're quick, but it's much more of a fixated cost. And the frontier models are generalist tools. You can build something much more specific, very easy internally on your own. It's what majority of companies are doing. I don't know if random tangent, but I always ask every AI vendor, how do you ensure that there is consistent cost? Because when we were talking to vendors 2 years ago, every vendor I talked to, I was like, how are you managing costs? And they're like, well, we're going to charge you XYZ and eat whatever happens, right? Because they were just like, we just wanted customers. Now everybody's heading to subscription, or they have built a way to build with their own internal models and their own infrastructure that determines a deterministic cost, right? That consistency.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this in previous episodes too, of like how having small language models or highly specialized models for the tasks at hand ends up being more effective than these big generalist models that are going to consume way more tokens because they have to. They're doing research and exploring every available avenue on the fly versus being highly trained. Like, if you tell me go do a finance person's work, I'm going to start flailing and figure it out. Or if you tell me go do security, I'm going to know exactly what to do and be more effective than if you ask the finance person to do my job. So that's what we're talking about in terms of these sort of expert models. And I think it's funny. I was talking to a vendor about like a AI runtime security solution not too long ago, and I'm like, how is this priced? And they're like, well, there's tokens and small language models and all kinds of things. Like, what's the answer? No one knows. Like, well, I can't buy that.
Nope. Well,
I can't write a blank check, guys. I work in security.
Yep. Do more with less. So
yes,
it's a tough time, especially in our kind of industry. I mean, as you were saying, one of the big things that I'm talking to vendors around and checking out is like continuous pen testing with AI. That just makes sense. We're in a world where we're getting attacked in that direction, which is something I'm also resetting. CISOs and high-level directors, or even VPs of InfoSec, heads of InfoSec, whatever their title is, the tippy top of the InfoSec teams. There's a lot of them, but they love Kev, dude. They literally love Kev. It drives me bananas because Kev is like 8 months behind or something, and so by the time it's already there, it's like, dude, this has been blowing up for months on months.
Bananas. Your AI found a 0-day, man. It's not in there.
Yeah, it's not in there. And so like you need to rephrase that conversation back internally that Kev's is like baseline. Like you can, a lot of companies and a lot of like guidance we've been giving is that Kev, EPSS, all these ways that we measure what we have to do and prioritize are literally blown out of the water. Like you cannot
throw it out the window.
Throw it out the window. Literally.
Go back to impact. Like you're saying, I don't have enough tokens to attack all of my stuff constantly. Okay, do an impact analysis. Where's the highest impact gonna be in your solution? Focus on that first.
Yeah, like auth logging, authorization or authentication, authorization, crypto where you're using. Those are the first places I would point my stuff at and be like, okay, if I have $10,000 in tokens, that's where I'm going first, because that is usually the pivotal point of access. And then from there, I will kind of work my way out.
Yeah, I would just go at whatever the front end is because that's where your attackers are going to get to first, unless they're already in your system. Well, you have a bigger problem then.
You have a
So
big
good
problem.
luck.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
No, call
So,
me if that happens.
oh man, so the threat intelligence that we used to operate on is gone. It is literally gone. So you have to start thinking about how do we build out those teams. It really comes into a full circle. Work with your SOC. You have to update your pipelines and get them in a better spot. You have to build out a VulnOps team, merge different teams, and focus on how to build a proper end to end. And think as AppSec and ProdSec folks, we have to start thinking like a SOC in a way. We got to manage this risk much more proactively in a 24/7 kind of mentality. Do automation, because none of us want to work all day, every day, and on the weekends. So
Just
automation,
want to drink coffee.
just drink coffee. Same, dude.
Yeah. I want to
Same.
watch it run, drink coffee.
Yeah. Sit down and no.
That's my biggest goal in life. Every job I've ever had, I try to automate myself out of. I'm not doing such a great job with those PowerPoints, but I'm trying because
Hey,
thank you,
it's
AI.
coming soon. Coming soon. You know. I know me and you are big fans
Time
of.
is now.
We're big fans of Gamma. So
Yeah,
Gamma's. I love that. That's a good one.
yeah.
If you're struggling with PowerPoints and you're in PowerPoint hell, go check
This
out
is not
Gamma.
an official endorsement,
No,
but
not at all.
yeah,
It is. It's
maybe it
pretty.
will be one day. Who knows?
Maybe one day. So there's only a few vendors I like to actually name, but I'm a big fan. Big fan. So I assume there's other competitors. Go check them out. Find what's the best value for you. Always do those things. I know everybody's in places say names. Don't fixate just on those names. Do your research. But VulnOps, coming back to, I want to ground that out. I mean, start thinking about how to build everything. The last thing I wanted to bring up, I don't know if you have anything. There's two things. No, really just one. You got to have owners for everything. Build out your
Ownership
owners.
problem
Yeah,
again? Come on,
ownership
man.
problem. Yeah, right. What is it? What was it? Governance without
Governance without
enforcement.
enforcement.
Yeah, but with enforcement comes ownership. You've got to know who owns everything so you can enforce upon them. So make sure you map your owners, map everything. You can no longer have, oh, hey, there's that server. It's running, I don't know, XYZ, Windows XP. Who owns it?
Oh man.
Anybody throws their hands up, you can't. You can't have that anymore.
Delete it. Just shut it off.
Just shut it off.
See what happens.
Down goes prod.
Yeah. Bye. Well,
Goodbye.
you're paying a lot to maintain Windows XP, but good for you.
Yeah, that's insane.
But anyway, I mean that's part of operations though, is ownership. You operate more effectively. You can actually address issues quickly if you have the list of people you need to contact. I mean, security out every incident response plan says who to contact, right?
Yep.
So this now expands out to the entire ecosystem like it always should have, so that you know who to call for every stinking asset. So that when AI ultimately finds its way to you in a bad way, you know exactly who to call. And it's not the Ghostbusters.
Yep. Exactly. The last section, which I think a lot of people are not talking about, I'm not hearing it on Reddit, I'm not hearing it on LinkedIn or anywhere. I really want to take the last 10 minutes of the podcast talking about the human element. I don't know, Kurt, how are you feeling? Are you stressed? Are you stressed about all this?
I work in security, man. I'm always stressed.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're all stressed right now.
I just got done telling you I'm having a stressful week and I've only been at work for 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. So I bet everybody's a little stressed right now. If you're a leader of a team, talk with your team. If you're in a team, dude, make sure you're taking your time to think about how you're doing internally. Because with everything that's going on, I think everybody's feeling a little bit of burnout, a little bit of frustration, a little bit of annoyance that could be harming your
normal.
operations. Yeah.
You're not alone. It's normal. I mean, with my team, I've had those chats with these guys to say, like, look, if you can find a moment of downtime or an hour of downtime, like, enjoy it. Don't feel like you always have to be doing something.
Mhm. Yeah, there's always going to be more work.
Work's not going anywhere. AI is frankly creating more work. As much as we like to think it's making less work, in security, it's making more right now.
Making more. Well, random tangent about that, but I was reading that what we're learning with AI, as much as it can make us faster, I was reading some other statistic too, showing that AI for software development is making, on average, developers. I think the limit is going to be around 20 to 30% more effective. So people were
Diminishing
thinking,
returns.
yeah, everyone's like, oh, it's going to be 100 times better. It's like, it's really not in that direction. When it's starting to be measured, everything I'm seeing coming out is around 30%. But what it's showing us is that people assumed there would be need for less devs and less engineers, when it's kind of the opposite right now, which is what we've realized is that we've entered a world, we've entered a world where we now understand that we were bottlenecked by the code that we could deliver, in the sense that we have more need for more software and more applications and more stuff than there ever was that we could produce before AI. And now with AI, we're producing 30% faster per engineer, which means we just again gain 30% more software, and we still have a higher demand. And if you think about it from that perspective, there are so many features coming out across like phone apps that I have and all kinds of different things where they're coming. I'm like, this, like, I look at their release notes and I'm like, that's a cool feature. That's a cool feature. That's a cool feature. And I'm like, I don't remember them being able to push so much. And
And
so it's like,
accelerated delivery, so you're just chewing away at multi-year backlogs much faster. You still need the team.
yeah, and so it's very interesting to be in that, because there was very much doom and gloom amongst the engineering world, being like, everyone's gonna lose jobs, but it's like what we're realizing is that there's a lot more startups, there's a lot more companies, there's a lot more need for different things, because there's more that companies can build, or teams can, or things that we need. We have more demand for different things software wise than we've ever had before, and didn't know we were that limited. So really cool side of it.
Yeah, software runs the world now,
Mm.
so it's in everything you use. Like, I don't like going camping, but if I did, I would try to do a caveman style. Be like, no technology. See how we fare.
I mean, maybe a music box so you can listen to some music.
I mean, I'm gonna sit there with like sticks and play the drums on a rock, man. Come on now.
That would be no hard pass on that
No,
one.
I'm not a musician. I used to
Same.
be in a former life, but not anymore.
I was never musically inclined ever. I've just been a big nerd my whole life. So
I've been there too. That one, that's where I found my success.
that's fair. Anything else around the human element you wanted to bring up? I just wanted to call out that hey, like, this is the time for ask for extra bandwidth, to tune in with yourself and your teams and your other folks. Bring it up with your open up a little bit of vulnerability within your teams and be like, hey, how's everyone doing?
I mean, that's part of being a leader regardless, is make sure you check in on your people. But now it's more important. I think we were in a place where everyone thought that the security operations team was the only one that was facing burnout, and now everyone's an operator suddenly. We've always been this way. It's just that the SOC has gotten the worst of it. um, but now we're all 24/7 operators, so you gotta take care of everyone if you want to survive the vulnpocalypse or whatever the heck they're calling it.
Tsunami of Volans. I like
Tsunami of
tsunami. I like
phones. There
tsunami
we
because
go.
it's like you can see it coming. The water recedes, right? And so we see that the tsunami is
Get the
coming,
warning.
and then it's going to come, right? And it's going to be
Yeah.
just that, like, it's a wave, right? It's like a wall. Continue. Oh, yeah. The tsunami, I think, sums it up perfect. Storm is like, I can see it, but the storm's going to pass. Like a tsunami is just, it feels like it's endless.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. Anything else? I don't know, dude. I think we kind of talked to this one. I got through everything I wanted to talk about last episode that we didn't talk about, which is, to ground it out, is you really, really, really got to start thinking about how does a AI exploiter, AI generate, AI vuln generators,
Printer.
printers, magicians, is going to affect your company and your teams, and capitalize on that. And then, if you're struggling on making these reports, just throw it in AI, man. I mean, I know we're all using AI. We got to be effective with it. So throw it in there and be like, hey, build me out a report. Here's this information. AI is really good at that. Now, if you tell it to just build your report and not give it anything, spend the time building out something, then throw
Framing
it
it
in there.
out
Frame it out. Yeah.
is more effective. You can be open ended. I've done this. You can be open ended. You don't know what you're going to get, obviously. So get ready for that. But if you generally know the things you want it to touch on, at least give it that and have it framed in a way that makes sense for you and your company.
Yeah. So,
And then iterate. We beat
yeah.
that drum a lot in previous episodes, and it's still true. AI is not perfect yet. You can't do like a one liner and you can't solve the problem for you
Yeah. Yep.
yet.
Yep. Yep. So, yeah, I think that's kind of everything I wanted to talk about. I mean, my coffee's empty, and it's going to be
Oh,
interesting
mine's
times
not.
for sure.
Jeez.
You haven't been drinking. So it's going to be interesting
How it
times
is.
for all of us. Nice. It's going to be interesting times. I don't know. We'll get through it
I
though.
mean, it's not gonna be. It already is, man. Like it's fun, it's stressful, it's all the feelings all at once. But we're technologists at the end of the day, so I love seeing the advances we're making, as frustrating as they can be sometimes. It's new technology. I like to play with it, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah. Good. Well, thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, join us our Slack and Discord. I'm going to post my cheat sheet in the Discord or Slack. And yeah, it'd be cool to see you guys have any feedback, any other tips that you guys are focusing on. The day has come. We kept talking about how someday this is going to be accessible by everybody. Well, ChatGPT 5.5 is out. It's literally in our hands, so we can no longer say the day is coming. The day is here 1000% without for a doubt. We said that even before, probably attackers had this. 100% now they have it. It's no doubt they have it. Everybody has it. So start building these things, focus on it now, build your briefs, get your CISOs on your page, on the same page, and have a good time. So yeah. Kurt, any last comments? Bananas?
You forgot smash the smash, man. That's bananas.
Smash the smash. Yes. How did I forget that? My
Yeah.
favorite face. That's fair. All right.
I don't know, man. But
This is Coffee, Chaos, and ProdSec. Signing off.